All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. We can wait no longer. There's business to be done. My name is Garrett. Once again, Garrett Jones. I'm in the Keller Williams Cupertino office, AKA Thrive, because that's what we're doing here. We're trying to thrive, not just survive. All right. I hope you guys have all got something out of your experience in Ignite. I think if you can take 1 to 3 things away from this whole kind of journey and put it into practice, you're going to be a better agent because of it. And this is just the beginning. Okay. So I'm going to be available for any agent who has a question that comes up throughout your real estate career. You all have my email. You can reach out anytime, and I hope to be able to support you any way I can, kind of in your journey here. So I'm going to jump into the slides, and we will get going. Nima, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen now? Are we ready to roll? You're good?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so this is the last session. This is it. Okay, session 20, planning our future. Right, without a plan, we are bound to get lost. Okay, so what I want to start out by jumping into is these are obviously all the classes we've attended so far. Let me minimize this. All right, so lead generation. Okay, when we're thinking about planning our future, that plan has to include lead generation. So to touch on what that looks like, it looks different for different people. Okay, tools that you use to lead generate with, okay, are the phone, right? Whether you're calling people or text messaging people. I let lead generate by hosting open houses. I lead generate by door knocking. I use email, and I also use social media. Right? I don't have to use all of these vehicles to generate leads, but we do need to choose what vehicle we're going to drive in right now. Okay, so today's vehicle for me is the phone, and I have a call list, and I have my time blocked, and I have a lead generating cap, my prospecting cap, and when I put that hat on, I'm in prospecting mode, because it's all about getting the right mindset so that I can be an effective communicator and prospector, appointment setting machine, whatever you want to call yourself. But I have to flip the switch, right? I don't wake up out of bed and I'm in go mode right away. So it's dedicated time, it's a dedicated space, and it's a dedicated mindset that I go into lead generating with. So from there, right, how do I get there? Well, I get there through practice, right? And practice looks like script practice, finding the right script, practicing. So I'm either role playing that practice, or I'm practicing on clients, right? Or hopefully future clients. But the more conversations I have, the better I will get. I forgot that step. The first 2 years of business, I thought that I knew how to talk to people and that I would be just fine. And I missed some critical growth opportunities early on by not knowing the correct questions to ask people. And not because I was trying to steer the conversation, it was just I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know to ask the questions I ask now. All right, I read this article the other day, and it talked about, basically no one likes rejection. And when we prospect, we get rejection, right? We ask for things and people say no. We try to figure out if people have a need and they tell us no or leave us alone. But I have a choice, right? I have a choice, and my choice today is to adopt a surfer's mindset, right? And a surfer doesn't worry when the wave hits them, doesn't worry when they're paddling out in the ocean and wave after wave is hitting them. That's what we're doing here. I'm thinking that we're sitting there at the side of the river and there's rocks in the river. And if this is my analogy for prospecting, I reach my hand in the water and I pick up a rock. And I brush the dirt off the rock, and sometimes it's just a rock and I throw it back. But sometimes there's some gold there in that rock. And that gold is the appointment. That gold is the signed contract. That gold is the closing. And I'm just trying to go through enough rocks to find those people that want to do business with me. So from here we go lead follow-up. Okay. Lead follow-up needs a plan. It needs actionable steps, right? This is where command comes in. I put those leads into command. I tag them. Is it a buyer? Is it a seller? Is it an investor? Those are my 3 tags, right? And then how did they come in? Did they come in from my sphere of influence? Were they an open house lead? Was it a sign call? Was it a referral? Right? So that I know, well, how did this person end up in command? And then they get assigned a plan, right? And for me, it's as simple as a monthly call plan. It's a monthly call plan. If I have their address, I will also put them on a biweekly neighborhood nurture or a monthly neighborhood nurture, which is nothing more than a market update on the area around the address that I've assigned to that person, which is most likely where they live. That's it. And then I just follow the plan, right? When my command app on my phone tells me to call them, I call them. And this brings me back to practice. Because now I have to be practicing. What am I going to say when I call them? How am I going to show up when I call them? We don't get what we deserve. We get what we ask for. And I'll say that again. You're not going to get what you deserve. You're going to get what you ask for. And I challenge everybody here to evaluate what they are asking for out of prospects. Are you asking for an appointment? Are you asking to stay in contact with them? Are you asking to give them a phone call this evening to see if you can help them? It doesn't have to be fancy, but I have to ask. Okay, I really challenge you, because again, I'll go back to my first 2 years in this business. I was having a lot of great conversations. I was getting a lot of motivation from people. I was hearing their motivation to buy and sell, and then I wasn't asking for what I wanted. Right? Big hole. If you just consistently ask for what you want out of people, people will say yes, and they'll give you appointments, and you can help them. The last one, right? The transaction. Let's think about our service experience. So I'm a buyer and I'm going to hire one of you to help me find a house in Santa Clara County. What's that experience look like? Let's start to visualize that experience, right? How's the communication going to look? Are you going to send me my custom home search 3 days a week? Are you going to send me one at all? What's the call so that we can review the properties that you're sending me and we can schedule time to go see those homes? What's the cadence, right? Do I prefer text message, email, or phone call? What time of day is better for me? let's really think about like just asking clients what the expectations they have for the agent that they work with. If I'm comfortable asking that question, they'll tell me what they want. And then I can get a little deeper by asking, hey, do you prefer text message communication or a phone call or both? You know, let's just really do our best at setting expectations for clients. When we set expectations, it makes this whole process so much easier because we're not as reactive. That's my goal for everybody as you get business and as you start working with people. Please do your best to set expectations with them. And here's the big one: over deliver on the expectations that you have set. Over deliver, over communicate. Right? You can tell them, if this is ever not working out for you, please tell me, because I'm going to do my best to over deliver for you. And what does over deliver mean? It means that you're going to find him a house in the right time, in the right place, in the right amount of time for the right price. If you do those two things, right? Let's not overcomplicate it. If you do those two things, you will have over delivered. Okay. And the only reason why people get pissed off at me from time to time is because I'm not communicating with them in the way that they find acceptable. Right? And it starts out small and they start talking, and then it gets bigger because it doesn't change, right? So a weekly, hey, how's this going for you? Hey, is there anything that I'm missing? Has anything changed in your current situation that I should be aware of? You know, let's just really take them by the hand and listen to them. Okay. I can't stress that enough. And I'm going to bounce back to practicing these conversations one more time, because the more I practice my communication with individuals, the easier it is for me to stay present. All right. I'm going to say it again, right? The more I practice, the questions I ask, the objections that I receive, the more I practice asking for what I want, setting expectations, I can stay present. That's why I practice. I practice so I can stay present and I can listen to the client's needs, wants, dreams. Because if I do that, if I just listen to those, I will be successful. I can guarantee you that. We sometimes get so busy trying to navigate the client to tell us what we want to hear, or we may think we know what their problem is, and we're trying to solve this problem, but we've never confirmed the problem with the client because we know everything, right? I hear this all the time. I met this person at an open house. Oh, their problem is they're not pre-approved yet. Well, is that their problem? That might be one of their issues, but is it the issue, right? So let's talk about our future. You know, what does a big future look like for you? Because all of our futures probably don't look the same. In fact, probably none of them look the same. Some may look similar. But I kind of challenge you to spend some time and write down what your future in real estate looks like. And you don't have to live with it. Put it in an envelope and open it up a year from now and see how you did, right? See how you did. Set some goals. What does your day-to-day look like? How many units did you sell? How many appointments did you set? How big is your database now? Are you showing up the way that you want to show up for yourself, right? Because most importantly, right, when I set a goal, the best part of setting a goal is that I get to chip away at it. And through that process, I build integrity. I build integrity in myself because I'm getting more and more confident that when I say I'm going to do something, I can lay down a plan and I can just take step by step. You know, that's it. I never hit a goal in my life till I was 41 years old. I had lots of thoughts. I had lots of big things I wanted to do, but I never set a goal, set a plan, and actually executed. And the freedom in going through that exercise is tremendous. So I hope you don't miss it. My prospecting hat, I talked about it. When I prospect, that hour and a half a day that I'm going to call people, and that's 4 days a week. It's not a ton of time, right? Do the math on that. That's 6 hours. But I got my hat on. I'm focused. The email is not up. There's nothing else in my way, right? We're all go all the time. How you think matters. The way you perceive yourself right now is probably not the way you're going to perceive yourself a year from now. So who are you today? You're here on this call, and I appreciate you showing up for your business. But what action items are you going to take? Because this is a fantastic business to hide out in and pretend to work. Think about it. We have training coming out of our ears. And then you can go online and find more training. And then we could get on the MLS and we can look at houses. And then we could go on tours. And then I can go to this and go to that. Your job is to go set appointments. That's your job, above all else. So don't get lost in the weeds. Okay. I want to stop the share real quick. And I just want to kind of go around for those of us that are here. If you want to raise your hand, I'd like to hear what you heard so far, and you know, in 30 seconds to a minute, you know, what do you want out of this year for your real estate business? It's so much more fun when people jump in. Come on. Carol, come on.
Hi, let me see if I can get myself on cam. What I want out of this year, I want to be a major force in turning over at least 30% of the single family homes in Cupertino.
So tell me more.
So whether they're my listings, whether they're my buyers, whether it's just creating a desire for mobility of current residents, I want to contribute to that number of 30% turnover of the single family home numbers here in Cupertino.
Bought and sold.
Yeah. I don't care if I need to work with people. I don't care if it's not my listing. Sorry, I'm trying to get good light. But that's my goal for this year. I'd like to be the person who's doing all the listings. I don't think I can do 30%, but you know, I think that I've significantly, you know, created some momentum and facilitated that. That's my goal.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So in a farm, if we were to look at this from a geographic farming perspective, and we took a zip code in Cupertino, the dominant agent may be a part of like 7% of transactions, right? Like a dominant agent in a farm is 10%. They're taking 10% of the listings in that area in a calendar year. And that's the dominating agent. That's what I want, right? Like I want to dominate a farm and I want business to be right there for me all the time. The question is what am I doing today to position myself to be that? That's a big one. Maid, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So my thought is, you know, as you know, that I just got back into this, and you know, after a year of kind of just doing over a year doing just family stuff. So I think you on point the fact that you have to make that commitment, fixed time of the day, of the week, and just make that commitment. This is the time that you're going to focus on working on this, getting a lead or talking to people, whether it's a buyer or a seller, or it's just your contact. And so my goal for, as I'm hearing you, and that's the reason why I decided I actually missed out on this Ignite program until this week. And so that's my plan for the next, few months. And if I can help 1 or 2 people buying their home this year, I will be happy. That I have a very simple goal and small goal as I get back to this. Yeah.
So then my question for you is, how many appointments do you need to set to help 2 people this year?
I think I just need to make maybe that's too simplistic. I think I just need to do maybe 2 contacts a week. Of the people that I had worked with and had know in my friends and family circle, make it happen.
Right. Good. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? One more person before we get back to the slides. All right, we will jump back in. Obviously, it starts here, right? With our mindset, we kind of left it. This is the big one, right? And so I thank you for sharing, but I just want to challenge you a little bit on more specificity in what you're going to do, right? You're like, I'm just going to parrot you. You said I need to talk to, 5 or so past clients, and that will probably generate 2 pieces of business. I would challenge you to say, like, getting more specific with how many conversations you need to be having, wherever those conversations are coming from, and how many appointments do you want to set, right? Because we have to get an appointment, even with a past client. I really believe, like, we need to show up and do an appointment and impress them and let them know, like, we're a professional, even if it's easy business. So how many appointments do you need to close 2 pieces of business? Is it 10? Right? If they're buyers, it might be 15. If they're sellers, it may be 5 listing appointments, right? Whatever it is, but I'm challenging everyone here to get very specific with themselves and with what they're willing to do to reach their goals, right? And it's easy to go, well, I only want to do 2. Like, I can kind of just cruise, and as long as I hit up these 20 past clients, like, I'm going to get 2. But is that really what you want, right? Or is that just what is attainable? So I hope I didn't put you on the spot there. I know that a lot of us go through that kind of inner conversation. If you're an agent who follows through with what you say you will do. So if you just have 100% follow through, when I tell you all, if you ever need anything, to email me, I 100% will respond to your email, right? And that's how I am with my business. When I tell people I'm going to do something, I do it. And just doing that, just doing what I say I'm going to do, probably puts me in the top 20% of real estate agents. Lots of agents out there making lots of promises to do this, that, and the other, and then they're not following through. So if you just do what you say you're going to do, and it comes with setting those expectations, your business will grow. And this is a big old acronym that Keller Williams uses. I think there's a lot of good things in here. Integrity is the one that sticks out to me. If I'm a person with integrity, I move through this world with integrity, I attack my goals with integrity. I treat people with integrity. I'm going to have a really big life. I'm going to have a really big business. I'm going to have a lot of friends. Things are going to be just fine. So, oh boy, the value proposition. If you hear the word value proposition, okay, and you kind of throw up a little bit, that's how I was at the beginning. I was like, what is a value proposition and what is mine? I absolutely I couldn't wrap my head around it. And maybe I'm alone. Maybe a lot of you know what your value proposition is. I wasn't one of those people, but I have a clear idea of what my value proposition is now. So I'm just going to share it with you guys, right? My value proposition is to be your real estate guide and always stay proactive and anticipate challenges before they arise, right? I'm always trying to help clients achieve results that they are looking for. And the results for most of my clients is helping them get what they want in the right amount of time at the right price. It's that simple. Okay, so I'll say it again, and if you're one of these like I was who struggled with your value proposition, that's okay. I think I didn't spend enough time really diving into what am I trying to do here? Okay, so I want to be your real estate guide and always stay proactive to anticipate challenges before they arise. Right? And I can back it up and say, we're dealing with people and their emotions and a lot of money, and problems will arise. But by me staying proactive, most of the time I can see the problem on the horizon and we can start to be prepared for it. So I want to help clients achieve the results that they want. Very simple, right? Help them achieve the results that they want. And do so in the right time at the right price. In right time and right price goes for buyers and sellers, right? The market's not always going to agree that my seller's home is worth what my seller thinks their home is worth. But if I do my job, I educate them on what their home is worth right now. If the seller then decides, you know what, Garrett, now is not the right time for me because I need this amount of money. That's okay with me. We'll keep our eye on the market and we'll be ready when the market can get them that amount of money. And hopefully I've done my job as a professional and they will still use me when it is the right time for them. Right time, right price. It's not up to us as real estate agents to tell people what the right time is or the right price. The data will tell them the right price. The data will tell them the right price. We need to get the trust that they believe in us and they will share with us what the right time is for them based on their unique position, right? And they're all unique. All right. So I hope that was helpful. It was sure helpful for me to write it down. Big why. I mean, this one too was one of those things like, God, I don't know. I mean, now it's very simple for me, 4.5 years later, right? It's to model success for my daughters and to impact the world for the better every day, connecting with people and also making financial contributions to those in need. That's important to me. That's my why. That's why I showed up this morning. That's why I'm going to show up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And I'll tell you what, now that I've, polished that off a little bit on why I do what I do, it makes it easier to show up. It makes it easier. And it gives me more energy too. One thing all high achievers have in common is they're working for a big why. All right. you ever notice people that do a lot of real estate business, like 50 plus deals a year, they always seem to walk around with blinders on, or maybe they even seem a little arrogant, and like they're too busy to bother with us agents who aren't doing as many deals. I choose to believe that they're like a duck who's sitting on the water, who's kind of cruising around the lake, and their little feet underneath the surface are just going like crazy. They got so much stuff going on in between their ears, and they're so focused on getting where they want to go. We don't see that. We don't see that hyper action, because we just get glimpses into what's going on. But they're able to do that because they're hyper focused. So that's where I landed with the big why. Is what they're giving us, right? Think about that. Not all of us are after extraordinary results. But there's definitely a why we're chasing this thing. This is a hard job, and you're out here chasing it because the paychecks are good, most likely. And hopefully because you want to build something for yourself and for your family. And we can make a lot of money doing this business, but it's not why I do it. Just a vehicle. So more ahas. Let's stop the share. All right. Min, what do you got for us? Share with us where you are today and what you're excited about.
Hi, Garrett. It's nice having you here as a presenter.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. So I'm a new agent. I just came into the Silicon City office for 2 months, and I'm learning a lot about real estate by attending these trainings and Ignite session. And my plan for the next couple of weeks is just to ask an agent around the office, see if they have any open houses, so I could just try out and learn from firsthand experience, and build up my client base from there.
That's great. I applaud you for that kind of singular focus. I think you're doing the right thing. So
Thank you.
stay the course. How about anybody else? My voice needs a rest. Somebody talk. Nima, what's going on with you, man? You're bundled up like a polar bear there.
Yeah, my plan for this year is. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my plan is that at the end of the year, I'll be able to completely quit my current job and work as a real estate full time.
That's a big goal. There's a lot of people trying to accomplish that.
Yeah.
How many appointments do you need to set to accomplish that goal?
I believe at least 50.
50 appointments.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Does your lead generating activities right now support somebody who's going to set 50 appointments in the next 8 months?
Not right now. I think right now it's not too many, but it can happen. It depends. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is not too much time that I can spend for real estate for now, but I need to do more, but I'm just wondering how I can have more time, because it's like I'm burning the candle on both ends. Right now, I work about 15 to 16 hours a day,
No,
Yeah, totally.
no, I know
Actually,
you've been working hard. Can I use you as a little bit of an example, Nima, and just share with people? Would that be okay?
about what? About real estate, you mean?
About setting an actual plan and how to actually set forth a plan that you can take action with. You know, it'll take me about 30 seconds to explain this, but I want to use your situation as an example, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Nima works another job. He works really hard, right? You heard him say 15 hours a day. And then he says, I need to set 50 appointments. He doesn't have time. Okay,
Yeah.
he's running out of time. He doesn't have time to set 50 appointments. It's just, there's not enough hours in the day. Okay. But so what can he do to feel like he is moving in the right direction? Because this is about progress. It's not about perfection. This is just about taking one step after the other, and everything leading towards being able to set more appointments and help more people and fill the pipeline. So I really just challenge everybody to look at your unique situation, because you all have one, and go, okay, where am I today? And what are the numbers that I can chase that will help me set more appointments? Because most of us are new, and we literally, the only thing we need to do is set more appointments. And then you will learn how to be a buyer's agent. You will learn how to be a listing agent. You will learn how to help an investor. You will learn how to show a home. You will learn how to look through property inspections. You will learn how to call other agents. But all you have to do right now is get over the fact that you don't know what you don't know and set appointments. Okay, so for you, Nima, here's what I want to challenge you with. Can you have 3 conversations 5 days a week, okay, where you ask someone, do you have a real estate goal that I can help you with in 2023? So that means that you have to ask 15 people a week that question. And I believe that if you ask 15 people a week, you're going to have probably about 3 appointments a week. That's my guess, right? I don't know. But unless we put something very clear and precise in front of ourselves, this job will take the air out of your balloon in a month. And you'll feel exhausted, and you will have no idea which direction to row the boat in. Okay. Anybody else, some feedback, some inspiration, some perspiration, you just want to get something off your chest? Carol.
Well, I wanted to say, Nima, I totally understand that feeling. And I can tell you honestly that the biggest thing you might want to consider is finding your larger why, right? Because I think if we just think about it as a tactical execution of numbers, it's really defeating at the end of a 16-hour day. But when you find your why, I think you find some superpower strength, and then you find that you have the passion to talk to everybody about what your why is. So for me, for example, I have 2 young children. I do my corporate strategy, client work, but we are trying to reform a CUSD school program. So that's completely driven by myself and 2 other parents. And so I would say I would be 16 hours maxed out already. But what I'm really doing is that it's all pronging into my goal, my focus for real estate, which is to drive the entrance, or to turn over a property so that younger families can move into Cupertino and revive our CUSD school numbers, right? So at the end of the day, I know that email that I'm sending is both a goal checking thing for all of my other goals, but they also prong in very strongly to why I'm doing real estate. And so I'm not saying it's sustainable, right? I know you can't work 16 hours for an indeterminable time, but finding that larger why will kind of make all of the different things that you've juggled or you're juggling in your life kind of integrate and come together and evaluate what pieces don't help that. What pieces do I need to take out that don't get to why I'm doing this? And then allows you to really focus on the things that do.
I agree. Thank you for sharing. Getting, being authentic to who we are as people, everybody on here, be authentic to who you are as you prospect. We are all independent contractors. We all work for ourselves. We can show up how we want to show up, whether it's in a hat or a suit and tie or anything in between. The way that we talk to people, the way that we behave, it's our choice. Be authentic to who you are, and you'll love what you do, because you just get to show up and be you. That, I mean, I can't. That's the best part of this job. That's the best part of this job, is I just get to be me. I get to help people. I get to talk to people. I get to share information, and I get to help people. Let's see what's next on our slide deck here. Oh, smart money business. So right now we're all just prospectors and salespeople for the most part. Not many of us are business owners, because that takes a whole nother set of skills. Okay. And the set of skills that requires is too vast to cover in the next whatever time frame we have left, in the next 17 minutes. But I'm going to do my best to give you the couple bullets that I put down for this kind of portion of our slideshow here. So being a business owner and being a salespeople are two different people, and so we're asking you to be two different people. Being worried about being a great business owner before you have any income doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, right? When you start making money and you learn how to sell houses, you can then start plugging holes in your business with the money that you're generating. I'm not one of these people that's like, hey, go learn how to be a great business owner, because if you don't make any income, you're not going to be in this game for very long anyway. So when I talked about the numbers, the beautiful thing about numbers, it's hard to track them. Let's just be honest right there. It's hard to track them because it takes self-discipline. And I believe the other reason why people don't track their numbers is because they don't want to know the truth. I can make up all sorts of bullshit as to why I didn't lead generate today, or why I didn't call those 6 people I had to call today, or why that. I'll rationalize it all. I can create whatever narrative I want in the brain that I have to get myself off the hook. But those numbers, I have a coaching call every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and we look at my numbers. How many leads did I talk to? How many appointments did I set? How many contracts did I take? Do I have anything pending? That's it. Ultimately, that's my business. So I have some weeks where I'm talking to 60 plus people. And in those weeks, I'm almost always setting 2 to 3 appointments. And I have other weeks where I literally talk to 10 people. And I usually don't set any appointments talking to 10 people. So I know that might sound big for like where we're all at right now, but like, if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, it may take you 3, maybe you're an amazing human being and your sphere of influence is all like multi-millionaires who are buying and selling real estate all the time. And you have to have like 5 conversations to equal 1 appointment. That would be amazing. But most of us aren't working in that space. Okay. So know your numbers, right? How many conversations have you guys had this week? I think that's interesting, because I would be willing to guess that nobody on this phone call knows how many conversations they've had about real estate this week. That would be my guess. Maybe one of us. Okay. So the 6 core competencies, you guys can read it. The real estate agent has 5 jobs, right? Lead generate, lead follow up, negotiate contracts, go on appointments, and practice their scripts and objection handling. That is it. That's it. That's your job. Get rid of all the other noise. That's my advice. Here's where the commission dollar goes. If you haven't done the exercise where you break down how much money you will be taking home from a closed transaction, I would suggest doing it. I'm going to give you a pretty quick overview of it right now on a $1 million sale. So $1 million sale comes in. Okay, the GCI on that is most likely 2.5%, which brings us to $25,000. Okay. Out of that $25,000, the market center is probably taking 20%. Okay, so 20% is gone. I don't know. Now we're what, 19,000? Oh, another 6% coming off for royalty fees. So now we are down a little bit more. So 26% gone. Now, are you paying a transaction coordinator $500? Are you giving a gift back to the buyer? Or if it was a seller, do you have marketing costs? Did you pay for inspections? Did you pay for home staging? There's a lot of money moving. And if you don't evaluate it, you'll look down at your paycheck after your first couple transactions and go, where did that go? Right. If you're in coaching, right, there's a coaching fee, and all of the commission, all of the dollars taking out of your commission is taken out of the 25,000. I swear I thought this is what happened the first time I sold a house, that the brokerage stood in line and took their money first, and now the money went down to 19,000. And then the next person who had 10% of the deal took their 10% out of 19,000, not 25,000. And that's not how it works. Everybody takes their percentage out of the top number. Know your numbers. I use the system on the right here. Okay, I have 5 bank accounts. I have an operating expense bank account that gets allocated a percentage of every commission that I make. I have a tax account. I have an investment account because I take a portion of my commissions and I move them into the investment category. I have like an income account, which is the money that I take out of the business and pay myself with, which is a very small percentage of a commission check, because the rest of the money needs to stay in the business so that I can generate more money with that money, right? So have a system for what you're going to do when your money comes in. I have a book, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it literally breaks down the system that I have. And so every time a check comes in, I take my percentages and I allocate them into the other 4 accounts. Keeps it really easy. All of my expenses, all the spending I do in real estate are done through one credit card, so that month by month I can audit my expenses, and it just makes it really easy. Here's some philanthropist quote from Gary Keller. Really simplifying what economics is for you, what the business economics is right here. I challenge you, when you spend money in this business, to do your best to hold that money accountable to a return. So if I'm going to send out mailers and that's going to cost me $500, I need it to generate money back, right? If I'm setting up a farm, I better allocate enough money to do that for 12 to 18 months, probably like 18 months. And it should cover its costs with one transaction, most likely, but I need to stay consistent so that it does so. I'm not going to tell you, this isn't a place where any of us should be telling you guys as agents how to spend your money. Okay. You have to make decisions on how you're going to invest your money in that so that it returns money back to you. What I would say is lead with revenue, right? Like, so until you're selling and until you have a pipeline that is worth something, don't start spending money. Your office fees, your association, your super box, your MLS fees, your desk fees, those are enough right now. You gotta find the money. More stuff on money. All right. As you can tell, I'm bored with the money conversation. So we're going to go back to you, all of you lovely people here. And Moy, tell me something good, please. Or are you busy skiing? Nobody home. Sarah, you got anything?
Anything about that? What, Garrett?
About life in general, basically. Do you have any good news to share with us about real estate or something that you heard today that may inspire you to take some action?
Oh, I was waiting for my like I wrote a contract, an offer for my buyer, and I'm hoping to having the result by today. And yeah, that's what I'm waiting. And yesterday I showed some clients some home in Los Gatos. They like the house, so I hope keep writing offer. But like you say, we need to like at the beginning we have so many kind of fee, and we need to limit like that fee enough. So I was thinking if I'm not getting any deal in a couple of months, I need to find some like part-time job to get the money to support the business, expensive business.
You're right.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's what my thought on financing.
Good. Thank you for sharing. Travis, do you have anything you'd like to contribute this morning to our Ignite session?
The one thing that I liked what you were talking about, and everyone should take note of it, was when I call it bucketing, but Garrett was talking about taking percentages of your commission checks and putting them in different buckets. It's something that the broker and the office that I'm mainly out of really focuses on. So if you want further information about that, maybe email Garrett or whatever, but I thought that was, it's a really important piece of it. How much you set aside for marketing, how much is set aside for investments, how much you set aside for if you're going on a vacation, taxes, whatever. You can't look at a $10,000 commission check and then think you're going to be able to keep the whole 10,000. Break it up and talk to somebody about how you should do that. That was the most important thing I took out of it. So
It reminded me the name of the book, Profit First.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I look at like if I get a $10,000 check, for example, like the way that my buckets are set up, it's similar to yours, Garrett. But if I have a check right here, if I get a $10,000 check, it's only a $5,000 check for me. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm only going to keep $5,000. Just the way that I have my bucket set up. 50% of my check goes into a various stream of buckets: taxes, investments, vacation, whatever. And I have that set up every time, and it's automatic. So everybody can set their buckets differently, but not enough people understand that and do things that way in this business. So
better have 35% go into taxes.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Pay into that, because your first transaction of the year is going to go to paying your taxes, and that check will all be gone if you don't.
I'm getting ready to book a trip to Hawaii for my son and I, and I'm paying for it out of my Hawaii bucket. I literally have a bucket that says Hawaii, and when I get enough money in that bucket, I go to Hawaii. It's non-negotiable. So
Keeps you moving.
yep.
Absolutely. Hey,
That's a big
Warren,
why.
yeah, man, go ahead.
I was saying Travis has a big why. He has a Hawaii bucket, so he work hard, just fill it up, and then once he reach the goal, then he can like reward himself.
And guys, like, our buckets don't have to be like to end world hunger or anything like greater humanity stuff. It could be like, I want a Ferrari. Give me a Ferrari and give me a condo in Hawaii that I own, and give me enough money to fly there every other month. Right? Like, if that's all you cared about in the world, like that was it, like that was your pinnacle, and you just kept that in the forefront of your mind, you'd probably show up every day and kick some ass. Right? You just would keep going. So I don't know what it is for you. Right? But grab onto something. Grab onto a picture. That's why the whole vision board thing is so big, right? Do that vision board in January, right? Put that picture, all the stuff I want up in there. I want peace of mind. I want the ability to do whatever I want to do and not be worried about money. I want that financial freedom. That'd be nice. That would be real nice.
I like
Bye.
the idea. I like the idea of allocating, your the receipt that you receive into different buckets. My question is that, yeah, I think definitely it's a very good practice, but I have a question relating to that. Probably not so much when you're starting out, but when you're a more successful agent, is that a good idea to pay tax quarterly, or just wait until the end of the year?
I think the more money you make, the more regularly you meet with your accountant.
Okay.
Right. So, I would, I meet with mine once a year. I don't make enough money
Okay.
and I set aside 35% for all the income. So I have an account with enough money to pay my taxes in it this year. And so I'm not like overly concerned about it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble hiding from Uncle Sam like our boy Donald Trump. I gotta be careful.
I do, Garrett, this is Travis, I do pay quarterly taxes. So make sure you do talk to your accountant about how that works. I got a message from mine about there is some type of scenario this year where maybe you don't have to pay quarterly taxes until October. I think maybe they're thinking they're allowing people to keep a little bit more of their money because they don't think maybe people won't make as much money this year because of a possible recession type of a scenario. But I'm going to pay mine quarterly anyway. I'm not just going to let it. I have the money in the account, kind of like Garrett does, right? I know I have to pay the money on it. I'm just going to send it. So it's up to you, but I believe after you have worked a year as an independent contractor, like 1099, I believe you're required to do quarterly taxes, and or if you don't, I think you might have to pay like a little bit of a fine, or you'll have to pay more if you don't do it. The hard part about it is, what if you make 200 grand in 1 year, right? And then the next year you only make 100 grand, but you paid quarterly taxes on if you were going to make 200 grand. That's the part that sucks. So you kind of have to talk to your accountant about it and see how to do that.
I want to end with this. The beautiful thing about this job too is people hire us to help them buy and sell homes. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. You have questions in those lanes, go talk to them, right? I get to stay in my own lane here, right? I'm not even a lender. So, Moy has to talk to people about lending because she's a lender, but not me. All right, go out there and go find that money. Grab a buyer, toss them in the trunk if you have to, and have them write an offer on a house. That's a joke. don't really do that, especially you, Nima. I know that you might do that, so we have to be careful with what we say here. It's recorded too. Oh my God, don't do that, please. That was totally a joke. All right, hey, have yourselves a good day. I'd like to recommend for most of us, when you join a Zoom meeting, the presenter would probably like it if they actually got to look at people's faces than a bunch of black boxes. So put your clothes on, eat your breakfast, and let's get to work. Have a good day.
Jared, do you have
Yes,
some
sir.
minute later today for MLS?
Yeah, shoot me a call after this.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Garrett.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Garrett.
you.